Hey everybody, C-Note here, and welcome to DOPEamine, the show where I talk about mental health, creativity, and personality typology. Here on YouTube, I help talk to INTPs, you the INTP, about particular topics that the INTP can use for their own personal growth, because I've used a lot of these questions and topics and seen the patterns of a lot of these questions being asked in INTP communities all over Reddit and Twitter and Facebook and all of that stuff. So that's what this is all about. Today I wanted to talk about, what did I want to talk about? I gotta pull up my notes because sometimes I forget. The power of intention for INTPs. So intention is incredibly important. Like in the last video, I talked about how INTPs can be trolls, and them trolling is a way to connect. And one of the challenges with connection is that we are often not including our intentions with the things that we are saying. What I mean by that, I'm gonna turn this a little bit because there we go. Ooh, my face is now brighter. Perfect. What I mean by that is that when we are able to properly convey our intention to people, we can share what it is we're trying to get to. We can share what it is like we're trying to say to them, because often people can get a little bit sidetracked by their own emotional reactions to things that we have to say. Sometimes it's a truth that hurts them, sometimes it's a blocker, right? So our goal is twofold. One, people don't care as much about what you know until they're, I gotta put my phone on silent. That's professionalism. People don't care about how much you know until they know how much you care. I said that on the last video. That's important to say here. That's incredibly important for you to think about. So the point of us knowing things and sharing things and being correct about things is so that other people can apply that, right? So for us to just say our truth and run away doesn't mean anything, right? So for us to express our intention is to express how we can connect to that person and have people actually listen to what it is that we have to say. And then we can actually have an impact on people and an impact on the world and find ways to connect. So expressing our intention means expressing the difference between what is an opinion and what is truth. So for us, sometimes we can say something that is an opinion when in actuality, or rather, sometimes we say something as a statement when it's actually an opinion, and we don't include words like I think, or I'm unsure, or this is a theory that I'm working on, this is a general idea I'm thinking about. And sometimes we can just say something like, zebras are striped and they go into this hole, and I don't know what I'm saying. That's a terrible example. I don't even know what I'm talking about. What I'm trying to say is that sometimes we can have an opinion about a song, for instance, and we can say that song is terrible or that song is great. And what we're really trying to say is I think that song is terrible. I think that song is great. And to us, we think our thoughts, we think everything to us is it's subjective, and we don't understand that it's subjective often. So the difference between being able to connect with someone and not is understanding and conveying that we understand that our thoughts are subjective, and that eventually the path is to get to an objective place of understanding. Or even if we have gotten to a place of objective understanding of a concept, that we can convey that concept or convey the path that we took to get to that concept, that involved a series of ideas and thoughts and questions and experiments or whatever, right? And not just say, this is the truth, you need to accept the truth. This is just the truth, you need to accept the truth, just the truth. Sorry, camera. But, we get really amped up and we get excited about wanting to share our truth with someone. And really, none of it matters if we're not willing to share our intentions. So sometimes qualifying language is incredibly important for us to have to use to connect. So like I said, I think, or something like learning constructive criticism and learning to give a compliment first before you say what your calibration piece is, right? And again, that's really hard because all you want to say is the truth, and all that matters is the truth. All that matters is the information. But it's about connecting the dichotomy of your introverted thinking and your extroverted feeling. So just check in with it. To just be like, okay, I just need you to know that my intention is not to judge you here, or my intention is not to make you feel bad, or my intention is to not make you, hurt your feelings, or my intention is to not offend you, but I want to say this. I feel like this is like a mid-process thought. This is an idea that I'm working through. This is a theory, and this is a concept. And I think horses are weird. Right? Like, it doesn't hurt as much if you give all the preamble and you just say horses are weird and this is why, or whatever, right? So I mean, obviously it's a silly thing, but the general idea still stands that if you're expressing your intention, giving a couple qualifiers, as annoying as it is, that's what just you have to do for your words to connect, for anyone to care about what you have to say. Because what you have to say, all of the objective truths, all the experiments, all of the things that you're working through, none of it matters if none of it lands. If nothing connects to the person you're speaking to, then why even be correct in the first place, right? So that's what's really important about that connective piece. And that's why it's important for us as INTPs to not dismiss emotions, not to dismiss someone's emotional reaction. Because the reason that I'm able to give this to you is because I have accidentally offended a ton of people. I'm sure you have too. And I've been learning from those experiences. You learn over time how someone reacts to something, and you sort of predict what their reactions be. So you kind of get to them and you say like, hey, I got something that might be a little tougher to hear, or I have something that's going to be like an honest truth, or something that's an attempt at an objective truth, and I want to just be real with you for a second. And I want to be honest about what this is, right? And I know that as individuals, we just want to say what we need to say, right? So I'm kind of going in circles, but there's a point here, is that the reason I'm going in circles is because it's going to land in different ways. And it's the same thing with applying different contexts to what it is that you're trying to share with someone. That they may need to hear different language for them to open up their mind to you. Like I said in the last video, a mind is not ready for something if it's not ready. You can't force a mind to be ready to take the information it's not ready to take. If someone's got particular traumas in their life, if they got past issues, if they got things in relation to their personality, if they've got emotional triggers, or maybe they're dealing with some sort of depression and they're not willing to hear what you're trying to say, that's both on them but also on you. It's a mutual responsibility to connect. So if you're not connecting and your words are not being heard by someone, it's not just because they're an idiot, it's because you're also an idiot. And you're not connecting emotionally. You're an emotional idiot. I mean that lovingly. So what I mean by that is that if you're not taking the time to convey your intentions, then none of the information that comes afterwards is going to matter. And the point of sharing something with someone is to help them grow and to connect and to make things better. That's really what anyone is doing. We're all creative people. We're all trying to put creativity into the world. And our creativity happens to be expressions of logic and love and connection. And that involves intentionality. That involves that kind of expression. So hopefully you can take that with you and ask your questions below if that's a little bit hard to understand or a harsh reality to take, because this is my reality to you. That people need emotions, you need emotions as much as you don't think you do. You absolutely do to properly connect with human beings. Because even you're not a robot. I know that there's this thing out there, there's this big meme about INTPs being robots, but you are not. You are a human being. You need water, you need food, you need love, you need sex. You need all of those things to properly connect with the world, and you need to consider emotional resonance, you need to consider vibrations. Now, I realize my tone got a little bit condescending, but it's true. It's something, these are things that you need to consider, and I've heard it over and over and over again. You know, INTPs, we're so brilliant at being able to look at things with fresh eyes, but you are also not the only person that has anything figured out. So, humility is really what I'm talking about. When I talk about conveying intentions, it's about practicing a sense of humility to be able to say, okay, I understand that what I'm about to say might be upsetting or it might be offensive, and it's just empathy. It's considerations. That's all. And it takes 2 seconds. It really doesn't take that long. And just take a moment, stop, slow down, think about it, and say, okay, you know what, this makes sense. I need someone to hear what I have to say. Therefore, I have to prime them to be ready to hear what I have to say. That's where it's at. So Let me know if you have any questions or comments below. Post it. A lot of you guys have been leaving really, really great comments and having really great discussions in the comments below. So thank you for that. And also, if you want to dive deeper into more specific advice, I have the Cosmic Calibration Program, bit.ly/CosmicINTP, where it's audio segments of me talking and giving my advice and sharing some of my personal stories about how I've been growing as an INTP and connecting myself to the universe and just kind of letting go and having fun and being happier and being a better person. So that's it. So go check out the podcast below as well, DOPEamine.life, and that's it. So I'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.